Welcome to Kids Express.
Join us as we see kids express their love for Jesus
while developing their character.
on Kids Express!
We are so glad that you are joining us today because we are going to meet someone who takes the time and effort to invite people to her church events. You know, that's something that we can all do, right?
Yeah.
And I hope you're willing to do that too every once in a while, is to invite people in your community. I'm Aunt Francine.
And I am Sofia. Can you guess where in the world Taste Guest comes from? Can you identify the state? If you guess Florida, you're correct. Let's welcome JL.
Welcome, JL. Ooh, you have some kind of special dessert. Oh my, that looks scrumptious, and it has some apples there. What is this?
Dulce de leche.
Dulce de
leche.
de leche. So that leche is milk, right, in Spanish?
Yeah.
And so it's made with milk?
And sugar and vanilla.
Ooh, that sounds really scrumptious. Have you had some?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Florida.
Florida is known as the Sunshine State because it has lots of sun. Florida is where the refrigerator was invented.
And that makes sense because it's so hot there, the food wouldn't last very long, especially something like these apples, right?
Yes.
Anything else about Florida?
No.
No, I like it because it's kind of like an area, there's lots of water on either side of the state, and that's not very common to many other states. Like, you could go from on the east side or on the west side, and you're going to hit the ocean, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. Do you like the ocean?
Yes.
So what do you like to do in Florida?
Well, in the summer, I like to go swimming because the water is very hot. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's just good to stay inside. But in the summer, you can do lots of activities because it's very hot. But sometimes it's way too hot.
So I have to ask you, I don't know about you, but are you worried about crocs or anything like that, or alligators coming up?
Well, I've never seen alligators in Florida, but I've seen alligators in different places. But I see a lot of lizards, but not alligators.
Yeah, they like the sun. Yeah. They like basking in the sun, too, especially on a rock or something like that. I'm glad you haven't seen them because I think those alligators would scare me a little bit. So I'm glad you haven't seen them because that wouldn't be my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about how you are sharing Jesus. What is it? God impresses us to sometimes go outside our comfort zone. And there's something we talked a little bit about how we can witness in our community. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I share Jesus by telling people about Jesus in my school. Mm-hmm. And also there's this thing called VBS in my school. Uh-huh. In my church, and we give out posters to people, and we have a really fun time giving out posters to people. And then there's a day when everything happens. It's like a whole week.
A whole week event. So for those of you that may not know, it's called something, sometimes they call it Vacation Bible School. Yeah. And it's like a whole week event for kids, right? Yeah. Have you gone to a Vacation Bible School?
I have at my church.
And sometimes they have a particular theme. What was your theme about? Do you remember?
It was something about something really hot, but I do not remember.
Oh, really? Sometimes it's like an ocean theme or a cave theme or something like that. Do you remember your event for your Vacation Bible School? No? But you just knew it was going to be a lot of fun and you wanted to invite people. So how did you do that? How did you go about inviting people?
Well, there was posters and we gave them to people, and on our third knock, grandparents said that they would be happy to invite their grandchildren.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. And you were handing out something besides the invitation. You were handing out something really sweet with it.
Popsicles.
Popsicles. Now, who wouldn't want a popsicle on a very hot day, right, on Florida? Mm-hmm. That was one way to get people to really look at the invitation, huh?
Yes.
So did you have a lot of fun at Vacation Bible School?
Yes.
That's good. And a lot of kids like to do that. And that's something that all of us could do. It doesn't take a lot. And maybe it costs a little money to get some popsicles. But hey, you never know who might show up at your church event. Yeah. And something like that is something that we all could do. And you want them to take part in having fun too for Jesus, right?
Yes.
And who knows what kind of seed you might be planting, right? Yeah. I really think that's a good idea. So, what's something that you feel like You know, all of us witness for Jesus in some ways. Is there something else that you do in your church? What else?
Like,
I know you have some hobbies.
like I play violin and the piano, and for violin I played at my church Christmas show.
Oh, really? So you played the violin, and I think you said something about playing piano as well.
Yeah, I play piano too.
Okay, so you take a lot of practice,
Yes.
and you try to do a really good job.
Yes.
Yeah, and it takes some time to do that. And do we have any photos of you witnessing for Jesus? Can we see some of those photos? Yep, there you are. What are you doing there in your photo?
Well, we were picking up garbage from our church because lots of people put garbage in different places, and me and my friends found a lot of garbage.
Oh, wow.
And there's another photo that we have here, and what's happening here?
I'm giving a book to my neighbor.
And do you remember what it was? Was it Great Controversy, I think you
Yes.
mentioned? Yeah, Great Controversy. And you know, we never know what kind of seeds we plant doing that. And so how do people feel when you do something like that?
Like when we give things to people, they feel very blessed because they don't have those things, and some people don't care for them.
Okay.
So they're happy that we care for them.
And you take the time to invest in them. So let's talk about our character. Now, all of us have something that sometimes I have to work on, you know, developing our character. And sometimes it changes as we grow older. What's something lately that you felt like you need to work on in your character?
Like not rushing during my schoolwork because sometimes I rush.
Oh, have you ever had that problem?
Yes.
I'm always having that trouble because, you know, there's often times when I'm hurrying up and trying to write something, and then I try to hurry up and proofread my work, and then I find out I spend more time when I was hurrying because I miss the mistakes and I have to go back and redo them. Do you ever have to redo schoolwork at school?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about your teacher. Does your teacher make you feel like you have to redo it, like when you get 70% or less?
Sometimes, but sometimes she doesn't make us do it over.
Sometimes not over. And it might be based on how badly you did. But yeah, sometimes we make careless mistakes just because we're in such a hurry. I don't know about you, but that's something that I have to constantly work on. And I constantly have to remind myself, if I just took my time, did it right the first time, I wouldn't have to go back and waste more time fixing it.
Yes.
Do you ever do that? You know, there's some strategies. What do you do when you realize that you want to rush, or you have a time test, for example, or you want to be the first one to finish your math, for example? What are some things that you do to help you slow down and take your time to do your very best?
Like sometimes I just have to pray to Jesus because sometimes I'm rushing and I'm going way too fast, and sometimes I'm like the first one finished in my class, and I'm like, probably not all these answers are correct because look at everyone else. I'm the first one who's finished. Just because you're the first one who's finished doesn't mean all your answers are correct.
Correct. You're right. Yeah. Correct. But you know, just because, being the first one, it's not a race on quantity or how many problems you can get done. It's more the quality. Sometimes we'll hear about that. It's the quality that you have to invest in it and what you're doing. Have you ever found that? What do you like to do, Sophia?
Well, normally I look and I'm like, I'm going to get a bad grade probably if I don't rush, because then if I rush, I'm probably not going to get the best grade, and the people that don't rush are probably going to get better grades than me because they actually take their time.
You're right. And so what makes us rush sometimes? Sometimes when we have a hurry, sometimes that brings us anxiety and stress. And did you ever notice that when you're really rushed and tense about something, that it affects the other people around you? Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, because maybe if, like, this has happened to me before. Like, sometimes when I finish something really early, other people see me finished. And, like, probably the teacher says, we're going to go outside for a few minutes to play. And since I'm done, all the people, like, who are not done, they're like, wow, she is done. So since the teacher said we're going outside for a few minutes, maybe I should rush.
Yeah, and so that kind of encourages other people to rush instead of taking their time. And that's where teachers and adults can help, because we can try to make it even for everyone so that everybody has enough time to do a really good job, because not everybody's going to get done with a problem in the same time, or some math assignments, for example. Is it math your difficult one? Which one's the difficult one? I guess it was math. And so what can help us? Sometimes making lists can help us to prioritize. Like what is really important to focus on today, or at the task at hand, or in this hour of your class period. And sometimes it might even be deciding what you need to get rid of, what's not priority, right? And try to figure out why you're always worrying about trying to make up for that time. And that's important to do. And, for me, sometimes we need to just make things fun and ask Jesus, hey, today, that's what I want to work on, right? And who always wants to help us?
God.
God, you're right. And I'm so glad that he's always willing to help us. I'm thinking of a time when we're in such a hurry and we miss opportunities to witness. We talked about you sharing Jesus. Jesus always wants us to always focus on relationships. Do you know he wants to have a relationship with each of us?
Yeah.
And that takes time. And time, we hear, is time is money, right? Have you heard that phrase? Time is money. And so if we focus on Jesus and we take the time to witness to other people like you've been doing for VBS, and we focus on the time that we spend on our schoolwork, we're actually putting investment in Christ. Don't you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. And you know what? I think it's time for our questions.
Oh,
right
yes. Today's question comes from Hero in Tennessee, and she asks, on the new earth, will there be need for school or chores or work?
I like that question, because some of us want to say, hey, do we have to have chores, or do I have to do my chores? Do you think there's going to be chores in heaven?
No.
Well, no, not chores like we have to do them.
But if you want to, you
But
can.
if you want to, you could. And in Isaiah 65, verse 21 and 22, it says something like this. It says, let's read it in our Bible. Let's take it out in our Bible. Isaiah 65, 21 and 22. You want to read it for me?
They shall build houses and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and eat their fruit. They shall not build another inhabit. They shall not plant another eat. For as the days of a tree, so shall be the days of my people, and my elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands.
So it says we're going to be working, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to enjoy what we're doing, right?
Yes.
So everything that we do, and I have a feeling, since I'm a teacher, do you think there's going to be school in heaven?
No.
Well, you know what? I'm hoping that we're going to learn a lot of things. Who are we going to learn about?
God.
God and Jesus, and we're going to have so many things to learn and explore and visit other creations in the world. I can't wait to see all those things. So, yes, I think we're going to be learning, but
not
schoolwork?
No.
Chores? Nah, I don't think we're going to be doing that,
No.
because we're going to have fun exploring heaven. I can't wait to be there.
I would love to go to Mars and Jupiter.
Oh, that sounds like fun. What would
Yeah.
you like to do?
I would like to ride on all the animals, and they won't bite me, so I will be safe.
There are so many things that we can do in heaven, and I can't wait to be there. Can you? God has great plans for us in heaven, and we won't be disappointed. Remember, think of ways that you can help others so that you can express the love of Jesus. Thanks for joining us on Kids Express.